Have you ever wondered how those numbers on the disc golf scorecard really work? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're going to master the art of keeping score, giving you the complete confidence to hit the course with ease. Welcome to the explainer. Today, we're stepping onto the fairway to decode the incredibly fun and honestly pretty addictive world of disc golf scoring. Whether you're a complete novice playing your very first round or an intermediate player trying to solidify your foundation, you are exactly where you need to be. We're going to figure out exactly how all those numbers, pluses, and minuses actually work together to shape your overall game.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our game plan for today. 1. Disc golf scoring basics. 2. The language of scoring. 3. Rules that impact your score. 4. Strategy and real-world application. And 5. Pro tips for beginners.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Disc Golf Scoring Basics.
So the fundamental objective of this game is beautifully simple, though, notoriously tricky to execute perfectly. You want to finish the entire course with the absolutely lowest score possible. It's not about racking up points, it's about minimizing your mistakes. And the absolute most important definition you need to know in this game is a stroke. Disc golf is a game of cumulative stroke play. Basically, every single time you release that disc to propel it forward, it counts as exactly one stroke. Smash into a tree 5 feet away, yep, that's one stroke. Launch an absolute bomb 400 feet down the middle of the fairway, also just one stroke. At the end of the hole, you simply tally up all your throws, add any penalties, and boom, that's your score. Now, if you're familiar with traditional ball golf, you essentially already know how to keep score here. We're literally just swapping out heavy metal clubs and little white balls for specialized flying discs and metal baskets. The core premise remains completely identical. Get your disc to the target in as few attempts as humanly possible. Moving right along to Section 2, the language of scoring.
To really communicate out there on the course with your card mates, you've got to understand the universal lingo. Let's do a quick mental walkthrough to see how this math actually works. Every single hole has what's called a par. Think of par as the expected number of throws an expert would need to complete that hole. So if you step up to a par 3 and you get it in the basket in exactly 3 throws, you shot par. That goes down as a 0 on your relative score. But let's say you execute beautifully and finish in one less throw, just 2 strokes. That's a -1, which is universally known as a birdie. Getting 2 strokes under par? That's an eagle. And sinking it on your very first throw off the tee, that is the legendary ace. On the flip side, though, if it takes you 1 extra stroke over par, that's a +1, also known as a bogey.
But hey, we've all been there. Sometimes things just do not go according to plan. If you're hanging out on the course and you hear someone groan that they just shot a snowman, it basically means their strategy completely fell apart. It's a slightly painful, informal term for scoring a massive 8 on a single hole. Why? Because the number 8 looks exactly like a snowman. Trust me, avoid the snowman if you can.
Let's get into Section 3, rules that impact your score. Now, while actually throwing the disc is the physical part of the game, there are some pretty strict administrative rules that dictate the flow of play, and your score actually drives that flow. According to the official rules, specifically 801.02, the teeing order on all subsequent tees is determined by what you scored on the previous hole. Whoever managed to get the lowest score literally earns the honor, meaning they get the right to tee off first.
Let's map out exactly how that sequence plays out. Step 1. Off the tee pad, the player with the lowest score from the last hole throws first. Oh, and if there's a tie, you just maintain the same throwing order you had on the previous hole. Step 2. Once you're all walking down the fairway, the rule changes. The player whose disc is furthest away from the basket, they're known as the away player, always throws next. It completely doesn't matter who threw first off the tee. Once you're out on the fairway, the furthest person out is always up to bat. Okay. Here's a crucial rule that really tends to sneak up on beginners, the time limit. You actually only have exactly 30 seconds to make your throw once you get to your disc and the playing area is clear. Taking forever to calculate the wind or pick the perfect disc isn't just a little annoying for your group. In sanctioned play, taking too long gets you a courtesy warning, and if you keep doing it, they will literally add penalty strokes to your total score. Yikes! Now, context is everything here, which is exactly why we need to contrast casual play with tournament play. Look, if you're just enjoying a chill weekend round with your buddies, the rules are loose. You might play ready golf just to keep things moving fast, and keeping score is totally optional. But step into a sanctioned tournament environment, and it is a completely different ballgame. Rules are strictly enforced. Every single player on the card must keep an independent scorecard for the whole group, and absolute data integrity is legally required. And speaking of mandatory, you've got to know about Rule 84.03 regarding scoring submission. In a tournament, after your group finishes the final hole, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 30 minutes to reconcile all those independent scorecards, make absolutely sure the math matches up perfectly, and hand them in. If you're late, or even if your math is just plain wrong, you get hit with a severe two-stroke penalty added directly to your final score. And trust me, two strokes can easily knock you right out of a winning position.
Which brings us to Section 4, Strategy and Real-World Application.
Here is a massive secret that experienced players all eventually learn. Strategy beats raw strength every single time. In disc golf, managing risk is huge. If you step up to every tee trying to throw the disc as hard and as far as humanly possible, you're probably going to end up out of bounds or stuck in a hazard. And those carry nasty one-stroke penalties that absolutely wreck your scorecard. So a lot of times, just playing for par, meaning making a safe, controlled throw right down the middle, is a way better scoring strategy than risking a penalty stroke just to aggressively chase a birdie.
Understanding how these scores average out also opens up some awesome real-world applications. For example, in traditional stroke play, let's say Phil usually shoots about 3 under par, but Vanessa averages 2 over par. Because we know the math, we can give Vanessa a 5-stroke handicap right out of the gate, which perfectly levels the playing field. You can also use this for match play. Instead of tallying up every single throw for the whole round, you just compete to win individual holes. It's an incredibly fun alternative format that keeps things competitive and fair for everyone, no matter their skill level.
And finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Pro Tips for Beginners.
So how should you actually keep track of all this while you're playing? Well, there are 3 primary ways. Number 1, good old mental math. Just keeping a running tally in your head like, okay, I'm currently +2. But honestly, for beginners, that gets super confusing really fast. Number 2 is the classic paper scorecard and a little pencil, which most local courses actually provide at hole 1. But I highly recommend, number 3, dedicated digital apps like UDisc. You literally just tap in everyone's throws after each hole right on your phone. It automatically does all the math for you, tracks your stats, and even gives you GPS maps of the course. It is a total game changer and makes scorekeeping absolutely effortless. Also, please pay close attention to the official courtesy rules. Good etiquette isn't just nice, it's a mandatory part of keeping the game fair. Never ever throw when the players ahead of you are still in range. Don't talk or make distracting noises when someone is lining up their putt. And please be conscious of the environment and never litter. Violating these courtesy rules isn't just frowned upon. It can literally result in penalty strokes being added to your score. So just be cool out there.
Wow, we have covered an incredible amount of ground today, haven't we? From finally understanding what a stroke actually is, to speaking the language of birdies and bogeys, all the way to navigating tournament rules and smart risk management. So I'm going to leave you with this final, exciting question to ponder. With all of these scoring secrets finally unlocked, how many strokes are you going to shave off your very next round? Grab your discs, head to your local course, and go put this new knowledge to the test. Just a quick reminder before we officially wrap up, the information provided in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. Always remember to check and adhere to your local course rules, respect park regulations, and, most importantly, play safely. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you out on the fairways.